For a while now, I've been wanting to put a wasteboard on my miter gauge on my saw, and unlike most miter gauges, this Grizzly one that came with the saw has no way to mount a board on there. Usually there's some holes or taps or something you can mount to, but this one basically came with nothing. So this video is just of how I mounted a wasteboard on mine. I started out with a 1/4-20 tap and the tap drill and a center punch there, and a center drill and tap handle and some lubricant. And the first thing you got to do is loosen that knob in the center there that locks it and adjusts the miter gauge. And you take that off, and then the miter gauge just about comes apart. But you need a metric Allen key to loosen that little pointer that's on there for the 0 set. So you just have to loosen that up, spin that out of the way, and then the gauge comes apart like that. So the first thing that I did was I just took it and mounted it in a little vise for my drill press, and a little bit of fiddling around with it just to try to get it so that it was parallel to the vise. So I just checked both sides and then moved it a little bit, measured it again, and then checked both sides, and then finally I just locked it down once I got it in a good parallel position there. I just took my calipers and I scribed the line where I wanted to put my taps, and then I marked them off the spacing that I wanted, and just went back with a little spring punch and put a center punch on them. Next, it's over to the drill press, and I put a little bit of lubricant on each of the center punches, and then I just used a center drill to go back and get a good start for the tap drill. Now, these center drills really are nice because they do find the your prick punch, and they just follow it, and it's easy to get a hole started right where you want it to. Now, this cast iron on this miter gauge seems fairly soft and drills really easily, so I'm not sure how good it's going to hold the threads over time. But should anything happen in the future, I'll just go back and put some helicoil inserts in it to strengthen them. So I decided I was going to put 4 taps in there, so I'd have a little bit of options for putting some other fixtures on this later. So first I use this center drill, and they are a very handy thing to have around. And then I just went back and normally I would have gone like a smaller size drill, but this cast iron was just really soft, so I just used the tap drill itself. And I just sprayed a little bit more the lubricant on there and make the drilling easy. And this cast iron basically it drilled like butter. You could just see how easy it was to drill. And there they are, all the holes are drilled in there now, all in a nice line and everything. So it's time to put some taps in there. The first thing I did is I took a 1/4-inch drill, and I drilled it in a 1/4-inch hole in a block of wood, just to use to hold my tap so it would be perpendicular to the surface when it went in. This is just a real easy trick to do, and you just by having that hole in there, that your bolts will thread in straight. So I went back and put the threads in the 4 holes here, and as you can see, it's a real soft material, and it's taking the threads real easy and quick. So this was only about a 5-minute job. And there you can see there's just a 1/4-20 bolt. I just wanted to check it and make sure that everything was right. So now I'll just go back through and I'll tap the rest of them. Yeah, using a block of wood like this really, it only takes 2 minutes to make the block of wood, but it really helps you in the long run keep, everything perpendicular when you do run the tap through these holes. Especially when you're dealing with soft material, it's so easy to just get it a little bit, twisted or cocked sideways. And it's funny because I've never seen a miter gauge come blank like this, but I guess most people just throw them away and build a sled for their saw later, so they don't really, mount anything to them. But so after putting the taps in, I go back with some alcohol and just clean up all the grease and everything so it doesn't get in any of my woodworking. And then the miter gauge just kind of slips back together, and you put that center locking knob in and just bring it back to the zero. Just bring that little plate around if you have that set properly, and then go back, line up that little pointer again, and then just tighten the set screw on the side there. Now, from looking at it at this angle, it looks like it's not lined up, but when you look straight down at it, it is definitely, the 90 pointer is right on the 90. So next thing, gonna make a piece of wood to go on there, and I just marked out where the screw heads are gonna go, and put a couple counter bores in there for the head of the bolt that I'm gonna be using, and then just went back and drilled a couple, a little bit oversized clearance holes for the bolt so that I could mount this to the miter gauge. In the future, I'll probably make up a dozen of these and just have them laying around just for spares to use for dados and stuff as a backup so they don't splinter out. So there it is. I started the bolts and then just set it on the saw, pushed everything down, and just gave them a quick tightening. And so it's kind of like having this on there really makes it a little safer, I feel, because it pushes those cutoffs past the blade and it doesn't leave them there where the blade may hit them while it's winding down. So this was a couple-minute job that I felt was really worth doing to make the saw a little bit easier to use. So I just thought I'd share what I had to go through to to add this. Then I did find a use for those brackets on the side of the saw there. They say they're for the rip fence, but the fence does not fit on them. So I was messing around and I took the that blade guard off, and I usually throw it over on the side. And I said, gee, that looks like it's going to fit down there. It turns out that it fits perfect, and it's really a great spot to hold that guard out of the way when you're not using it, and it doesn't vibrate or anything else. It's just a perfect fit in there. So that's just another little tip for this saw that it make it easier to keep that from getting scratched up or damaged in the future. So like I said, this is just another little thing I did to the saw that I thought was a pretty good idea, and it only takes a couple minutes, and I just thought I'd share it with you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.